Are you aware of your blind spots? Like whether you're driving a car or staring at a Sudoku, are you ever curious about what exists in those places you can't see? I will show you one of the potential problems with Snyder notation. It can create a huge blind spot if you do not know what I'm about to reveal in this video. Click below if you want to give this puzzle a go, and with that, it's solving time. Let's talk about Snyder notation. Look here in block 9. Where can a 2 go? Well, because of the 2 in row 9 and the 2 in row 7, there's only 2 possibilities for a 2. Whenever you have only 2 possibilities for a candidate in a block, you mark them. In case we solve one cell, we can solve the other right away. Greetings, friend. I'm helping you solve round 4, puzzle 5, the 2024 Sudoku Grand Prix. It's rated 786 medium. This is the last and hardest of the round 5 classic Sudokus. I will show you the problem with relying too much on just Snyder notation to solve these types of puzzles, and then what you can do to overcome it. First, need to see how far Snyder notation can take you. So look at the 3s. Up here in block 2, you have a 3 here, a 3 here. Snyder 3s in block 2. And then in block 4, with this 3 cutting across, and the 3 coming down, there's only 2 possibilities for 3, but they act as a pointing pair. And what this means is since the 3s are in the same column, in block 4, 3 can't be anywhere else outside of the block. So you cannot put a 3 here or here. If you did, you'd have no place to put a 3 in block 4. What it allows us to do is then restricts the 3s to these 2 spots in block 7. Don't have any Snyder notation with the 4s. Let's look at the 5s. Up here in block 1, these 2 5s. Snyder 5s right here. And then in block 5 with this 5 and this 5 cutting down, create another pointing pair of 5s. And since the 5s can't be here anymore, they can't be here because of this 5, we have 2 places for a 5 in block 4. And then in block 9, with these 2 5s and this 5, we have Snyder 5s right here. Looking for the 6s, with these 2 6s, Snyder 6s right here. And you're just looking to see restrictions, right? All the restrictions we have in certain blocks based on these candidates. With the 7s, these 2 7s, 7s are restricted to these 2 spots in block 7. And now this is a bonus tip. You're going to see something pretty cool here. Notice that the 7 and the 8 are both in column 3, and the 7 and 8 are both in row 8. And so the 8s are also restricted to the same 2 cells as the 7. Whenever you see Snyder on top of each other, like you see right here, what you have is a hidden pair. And so what I can do with these 2 cells is remove all other candidates from those cells, because the 7 and 8 have to be somewhere in block 7 and they're restricted to the same 2 cells. So that is a nice hidden pair, which creates some restriction for us. It helps us out, but we didn't get to solve a cell yet. What else can we do with the 8s? Well, with this 8 and this 8, we can put Snyder 8s right here. And they're a pointing pair, so 8s can't be here. There's 3 spots for an 8. I'm not going to mark that. Normally with Snyder notation, you don't mark 3 spots. However, this does create a little bit of a blind spot. We're going to get to that. Because after this is as far as you can get in this puzzle using just Snyder notation. And we haven't solved any cells. So what did you do at this point in the puzzle? Where did you go next? How did you get it solved? Please, please drop and share that in the comments with the other viewers. Hey, I always appreciate a good thumbs up and a subscribe to Smart Hobbies. I really want to hear what you have to say about this puzzle in the comments. Help me grow the best Sudoku community on YouTube. I'd love to hear from you so much. I respond to every comment. Normally, I would tell you you need to look at either single candidate strategies or filling out the BVCs. If you filled out the BVCs, 5 value cells as I call them, you could find a 4, 9 right there, and then you can look right here and notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, all look in there. So this could be a 5, 9. And then with these 2 BVCs, that's all you have. You could look at single candidate strategies and go through all the candidate strategies, and maybe someone put in as a comment, you can find a swordfish of 6s in this puzzle. It doesn't reveal any solves, but it's a pretty cool swordfish. You can actually find a finned X-Wing of 9s too. I found one of those. And it doesn't do that much with the solve either. I'm not going to show those. However, what you have to do, and this is the problem with Snyder Notation, is it creates a blind spot. Since we're only relying on candidate markings, we now have to look and see what are the cells giving us? What other restrictions do we have? You may notice the 2s are limited to these 2 spots in block 9. The 5s are limited to these 2 spots, and they overlap. Is there another candidate that's restricted to these 3 cells? Well, look here in column 7. The 4 comes down, can't be in those cells, and then the 4 cuts across row 9. So the 4s are limited to these 3 cells. We would never mark those 3 cells with Snyder Notation. So that's the problem Snyder creates. However, what you see here, if you look at the 4 and the 5, the 4 and the 5 with the 2s, you create a hidden triple now. So these 3 cells have to contain 2, 4, and 5. The 2, 4, 5 cannot be anywhere else in this block. And so what you can do is create that nice hidden triple. And the 2 can't go here, but since it's restricted to those 3 cells, this is what you have to find. Now I'll remove the 4s. You have to find this hidden triple if you want to make more progress in this puzzle. And it doesn't lead to all the solves you need to get out of this and have a smooth solve path. We actually have to do a little bit of more help. And there's another blind spot I'm about to show you that you have to look for as well in order to make progress. So what can we do? What does this do for you and this puzzle? Well, you notice now we create some restrictions here in row 8. And you want to look on the candidate 3. We have the 3s limited to these 2 cells, so the 3s can't be in those 2 spots, right? 3 can't be here because of this 3, and now it can't be here because of the hidden triple. So the only place a 3 can go in row 8 is right here. That is a nice hidden single for you. It allows you to displace this Snyder 3 and solve this cell for a 3. And so now you have to use another strategy, and we're going to have another potential Sudoku blind spot that Snyder Notation can create. You got to get past that, continue solving this puzzle. First, look at where a 3 can be here in column 7. Can't be here now because of this 3. Can't be here because of this 3. And it can't be here because of this 3. So the 3s are limited to these 2 spots in column 7. Since they're restricted to block 9 in column 7, this is now a claiming pair. 3s have to be in one of these spots. 3 can no longer be in either one of these spots right here. And so you see here you have a kind of nice little mini X-Wing, they call it, of the 3s in rows 7 and 9. And so the next blind spot, the thing you got to watch out for, is actually going to do with the 6s. Okay? So what can we see here? You notice the 6s are limited to rows 7 and 9 here in block 8. Where are the 6s? Where can they be in block 9? Well, they can be in these 4 spots, the same rows 7 and 9. Whenever you see this is kind of called, it doesn't really look like an X-Wing if those cells were blocked out. But the idea is, since the 6s are limited to rows 7 and 9 and blocks 8 and 9, a 6, it has to be in row 8 in block 7, because a 6 has to be somewhere along this row. And so this creates a claiming pair of 6s. So now the 6s are limited to these 2 spots in block 7. If you put a 6 here, you have no place to put a 6 in row 8. You have to notice that another little blind spot kind of created because you wouldn't have marked all 4 of these cells with Snyder Notation. So we're looking and we notice the 6s right there. What does this do for your solve? Now a 6 can't be in these spots. And a 6 can't be here because of this 6. So we can solve this cell now for a hidden single 6 in column 3. Displacing that Snyder 5. Displacing this Snyder 5, we can solve for a 5 here in block 4. And now by solving the 3 here, the 6 here, you'll notice you have a 3, 6 in row 1, 3, 6 in row 3. So the 3, 6 are restricted to these 2 cells now in block 3. So this is a nice hidden pair, 3 and a 6. And what does this do for block 3? Well, with the 7s, the only place to put a 7 now is right here. And then notice with this 4, pretty powerful 4, you can solve for 4 right there, which gives us a 2, 8 naked pair. And now this 4 is going to help us with some serious solving down here, right? Because the 4s can't be here anymore. So we know we can solve this cell for a 4, which allows us to solve and displace the Snyder 2, displacing that Snyder 5. So now we solve that hidden triple. And then what is that going to do for our solving? With this 5 and this 5, we can solve for 5 right there. Will give us a nice 6, 9 naked pair. And then let's continue to follow the 4s. With these two 4s, I'm going to call it following the Snyder. You can put a 4 right here, displacing this Snyder 3. And then with this 4, we can disambiguate. You know, take the 4 out and make that a 9 now. And just follow these 3s, because of this 3, displace that Snyder 3. You can solve this cell for a 3. And what leaves you with is a 1, 6 here in column 7. Well, I have a 6 right there. That's got to be your 1, and that's got to be your 6, giving us a 1, 8 naked pair right here. However, I have a 1 right there. You can put the 8 there. You can put the 1 right there. And then this 8 will allow us to disambiguate 7, 8 here in block 7. And now with this 6, we can displace that Snyder 6. Solve this cell for a 6. The only thing left in row 9 is a 9. This is a full house. We had 8 cells filled out. And then you look in here, I don't see a 1 or a 7. I'm going to pull that 7 down from block 2. So this has to be your 7, and that has to be your 1. We still got plenty of good solving to take care of here. Okay, let's look up here in blocks 1, 2, and 3. This 2 cuts across row 2, and with this 2, you now have a pointing pair of 2s. They have to be somewhere in block 2. They're limited to row 3, so a 2 can't be anywhere else outside the block. This has to be an 8 now, and that's going to be a 2. Leaves us with a 1, 8 up here. I got my 8 from block 7. Pull that up. Got the 8 here. Got the 1 right there. And then what we're looking for here is a 4, 7. So I just look and go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. I need a 4, 7. Got the 7. We're going to pull it up. So there's a 7, and there's your 4. And now we're restricted the 2 cells remaining here in row 2. We just need a 1, and you need a 8. So I got my 1 right here. So here's your 1, and there is your 8. Okay, then with these two 8s, you can actually displace that Snyder 8, because of this 8, you can solve for an 8 right here. And then with these two 8s and this 8, you can solve for an 8 in block 6. Looking good. Now, where can we do here in column 4? Well, you notice with this 5, displaces that Snyder 5, we can solve for a 5 right there. All we have left in column 4 is a 4, 9. Well, I have my 4 right here. Pull it over, so I know that's got to be your 9. That's got to be your 4, leaving a 2, 9 right here. Well, I have a 9 right there in block 8. So there's your 9, displacing that Snyder 2. And now this 2 cuts all the way down column 5. Only place left for a 2 in the block 5 is right there. And then this 2 and this 2 allow us to do a little cross hatching. We can solve for a 2 here in block 6. And with these 2s and this 2, we can solve for a 2 here in block 4. Where do you want to go from here? Look at the restrictions we created. That's another tip I will give you here. We have 6 digits now in row 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. We need a 4, 7, 9. I'm going to do my neat naked triple trick, a little bonus trick for you here. Whenever you have 2 of the 3 missing candidates, looking at one cell, in this case a 4, 7, look right here. And then one of those repeats in another cell, the 4 right here, we can solve all 3. You know, this has to be your 9. Only place the 4 goes right there, and this has to be your 7. And now with these 2 4s and this 4, we can solve for 4 in block 4. Which leaves us just a 6, 9 in column 1. Well, there's my 9, so that's got to be your 6. That's got to be your 9, displacing that Snyder 6. Awesome. And now where are we going? You got these 2 6s. So I know a 6 has got to be in one of these spots right here. And then I have these 2 9s. And so I know a 9's got to be in one of these spots. Well, I got my 9 right here. So here's your 9, displacing that Snyder 6. Allow us to disambiguate the 3, 6 right here. I'm going to look in block 6. We only have 1 cell remaining. It's got to be a 3, displacing the Snyder 3. Allows us to solve for 3 right there. I don't see a 1 in block 4. That's got to be your 1. And I always look at the last thing I solved. Can it go in the next block? And it sure can't. The 1 can only go right there. So you can solve it pretty quickly. And leaves our last digit as a 7. See if you can overcome the Snyder notation blind spot in this next video. Thank you so much for watching.